Matot. First reading, Abraham, Chesed. And Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord has commanded. When a man vows a vow to the Lord, or swears an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth. Also, when a woman vows a vow to the Lord, and binds herself by a bond, being in her father's house, in her youth, and her father hears her vow, or her bond with which she has bound her soul, and her father holds his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond with which she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her father prohibits her in the day that he hears, none of her vows, or of her bonds with which she has bound her soul, shall stand, and the Lord will forgive her, because her father prohibits her. And if she be married to a husband, while her vows are upon her, or the clear utterance of her lips with which she has bound her soul, and her husband hears it, whatever day that he hears it, and holds his peace at her, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds with which she has bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband prohibits her in the day that he hears it, then he shall make void her vow which is upon her, and the clear utterance of her lips, with which she has bound her soul, and the Lord will forgive her. But the vow of a widow, or of her that is divorced, everything with which she has bound her soul shall stand against her. And if a woman vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and prohibits her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband make them null and void in the day that he hears them, then whatever proceeded out of her lips, whether it were her vows or the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband has made them void, and the Lord will forgive her. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may let it stand, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether holds his peace at her from day to day, then he causes all her vows to stand, or all her bonds which are upon her. He has let them stand, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall make them null and void after he has heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses, between a man and his wife, between a father and his daughter, being in her youth, in her father's house. Matot. On a leap year. Second reading, Isaac, Gevurah. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people. And Moses spoke to the people, saying, Arm men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian, to execute the Lord's vengeance on Midian. Of every tribe 1,000, throughout all the tribes of Israel, shall you send to the war. So there were delivered, out of the thousands of Israel, 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them, 1,000 of every tribe, to the war, them and Pinchas, the son of Eleazar, the priest, to the war, with the holy vessels and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. And they warred against Midian, as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew every male. And they slew the kings of Midian, with the rest of their slain, Evi, and Rechem, and Tzur, and Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. Bil'am also the son of Beor they slew with the sword. And the children of Israel took captive the women of Midian and their little ones, and all their cattle, and all their flocks, and all their goods, they took for a prey, and all their cities in the places wherein they dwelt, and all their encampments they burnt with fire. And they took all the spoil, and all the prey, both of man and of beast. Matot. On a leap year, third reading, Jacob, Tiferet. When connected, second reading, Isaac, Gevurah. And they brought the captives, and the prey, and the spoil to Moses and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the children of Israel, to the camp, to the plains of Moab, which are by the Jordan at Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest, and all the princes of the congregation, went forth to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was angry with the officers of the host, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds, who came from the service of the war. And Moses said to them, Have you saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Bilam, to revolt so as to break faith with the Lord in the matter of Peor. And so the plague was among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that has known man by lying with him. But all the women and children that have not known man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. And encamp outside the camp 7 days. Whoever has killed any person, and whoever has touched any slain, purify yourselves on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, you and your captives. And as to every garment, and all that is made of skin, and all work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood, you shall purify. And Eleazar the priest said to the men of war that went to the battle, This is the statute of the law which the Lord has commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can endure the fire, you shall make to go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of sprinkling, and all that cannot endure the fire you shall make to go through the water. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall be clean, and afterward you may come into the camp. Matot. On a leap year, fourth reading, Moses, Netzach. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the priest, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between the men skilled in war that went out to battle, and all the congregation, and levy a tribute to the Lord of the men of war that went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons and of the cattle, and of the donkeys and of the flocks. Take it of their half, and give it to Eleazar the priest as a portion set apart for the Lord. And of the children of Israel's half, you shall take 1 drawn out of every 50, of the persons, of the cattle, of the donkeys, and of the flocks, even of all the cattle, and give them to the Levites that keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded Moses. Now the prey, over and above the booty which the men of war took, was 675,000 sheep, and 72,000 cattle, and 61,000 donkeys, and 32,000 persons in all, of the women that had not known man by lying with him. And the half, which was the portion of them that went out to war, was 337,500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 675, and the cattle were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 72, and the donkeys were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 61, and the persons were 16,000, of whom the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. And Moses gave the tribute, which was set apart for the Lord, to Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. Matot. On a leap year, fifth reading, Aaron, Hod. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided off from the men that warred. Now the congregation's half was 337,500 sheep, and 36,000 cattle, and 30,500 donkeys, and 16,000 persons. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took one drawn out of every 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them to the Levites, that kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the officers that were over the thousands of the host, the captains of thousands and the captains of hundreds, came near to Moses, and they said to Moses, Your servants have taken the sum of the men of war that are under our charge, and there lacks not one man of us. And we have brought the Lord's offering, what every man has gotten, of jewels of gold, armlets and bracelets, signet rings, earrings and girdles, to make atonement for our souls before the Lord. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the gift that they set apart for the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken booty, every man for himself. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and brought it into the tent of meeting, for a memorial for the children of Israel before the Lord. Matot. On a leap year, sixth reading, Joseph, Yesod. When connected, third reading, Jacob, Tiferet. Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had a very great multitude of cattle, and when they saw the land of Yazer and the land of Gilead, that, behold, the place was a place for cattle, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke to Moses and to Eleazar the priest and to the princes of the congregation, saying, Atarot and Dibon and Yazer and Nimrah and Heshbon and El-Ale and Sebam and Nebo and Beon, the land which the Lord defeated before the congregation of Israel, is a land for cattle, and your servants have cattle. And they said, If we have found favor in your sight, let this land be given to your servants for a possession. Do not bring us over the Jordan. And Moses said to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Shall your brethren go to the war, and shall you sit here? And why will you turn away the heart of the children of Israel from going over into the land which the Lord has given them? Thus did your fathers, when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they turned away the heart of the children of Israel, that they should not go into the land which the Lord had given them. And the Lord's anger was kindled that day, and he swore, saying, Surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt, from 20 years old and upward, shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, and Yehoshua, the son of Nun, because they have wholly followed the Lord. And the Lord's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them wander to and fro in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of the Lord was consumed. And behold, you have risen in your father's stead, a brood of sinful men, to augment yet the fierce anger of the Lord toward Israel. For if you turn away from following him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and so you will destroy all this people. And they came near to him and said, We will build sheepfolds here for our cattle, and cities for our little ones. But we ourselves will be ready armed to go before the children of Israel until we have brought them to their place, and our little ones shall dwell in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until every one of the children of Israel have inherited his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because our inheritance has fallen to us on this eastern side of the Jordan. Matot, on a leap year, 7th reading, David, Malchut. When connected, 4th reading, Moses, Netzach. And Moses said to them, If you will do this thing, if you will arm yourselves to go before the Lord to the war, and every armed man of you will pass over the Jordan before the Lord until he has driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before the Lord, and you return afterward, then you shall be clear before the Lord and before Israel, and this land shall be your possession before the Lord. But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against the Lord, and know your sin will find you. Build you cities for your little ones and folds for your sheep, and do what has proceeded out of your mouth. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moses, saying, Your servants will do as my Lord commands. Our little ones, our wives, our flocks, and all our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will pass over, every man that is armed for war, before the Lord to battle, as my Lord said. So Moses gave charge concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Yehoshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moses said to them, If the children of Gad and the children of Reuben will pass with you over the Jordan, every man that is armed to battle before the Lord, and the land shall be subdued before you, then you shall give them the land of Gilead for a possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, As the Lord has said to your servants, so will we do. We will pass over, armed before the Lord, into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan. And Moses gave to them, even to the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and to half the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, the land according to the cities within their borders, and the surrounding cities of the land. And the children of Gad built Dibon, and Atarot, and Aroer, and Atrot Shofan, and Yazer, and Yagbeha, and Beit Nimrah, and Beit Haran, fortified cities and folds for sheep. And the children of Reuben built Cheshbon, and El Ale, and Kiryat Taim, and Nebo, and Baal Meon, their names being changed, and Sibma, and gave their names to the cities which they built. Matot, on a leap year, Maftir. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Gilead and took it and dispossessed the Amorites that were there. And Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt there. And Yair, the son of Menashe, went and took its villages and called them Havot Yair. And Nobach went and took Kenat and its villages and called it Nobach, after his own name. Haftarah of Matot, Jeremiah 1:1 through 2:3. The words of Jeremiah, the son of Chilkiah, of the priests who were in Anatot, in the land of Binyamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Yoshia, the son of Ammon, king of Yehudah, in the 13th year of his reign. It came also in the days of Jehoiakim, the son of Yoshia, king of Yehudah, until the end of the 11th year of Tzidkiah, the son of Yoshia, king of Yehudah, until the carrying away of Jerusalem captive in the 5th month. And the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you, and before you came out of the womb, I sanctified you. I have appointed you a prophet to the nations. Then said I, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said to me, Do not say, I am a child, for to whomever I shall send you, you shall go, and whatever I shall command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you to deliver you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord put forth his hand and touched my mouth, and the Lord said to me, Behold, I have put my words in your mouth. See, I have this day set you over the nations and over the kingdoms, to root out and to pull down, and to destroy and to overthrow, to build and to plant. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a branch of an almond tree. Then said the Lord to me, You have seen well, for I watch over my word to perform it. And the word of the Lord came to me the second time, saying, What do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and it is facing away from the north. Then the Lord said to me, Out of the north the evil shall break forth upon all the inhabitants of the land. For look, I will call all the families of the kingdoms of the north, declares the Lord. And they shall come, and each one shall set his throne at the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem, and against all the walls around it, and against all the cities of Yehudah. And I will utter my judgments against them touching all their wickedness, in that they have forsaken me, and have offered to other gods, and worshipped the work of their own hands. You therefore gird up your loins and arise, and speak to them all that I command you. Do not be dismayed by them, lest I dismay you before them. For behold, I have made you this day a fortified city, and an iron pillar, and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Yehudah, against its princes, against its priests, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against you, but they shall not prevail against you, for I am with you, declares the Lord, to deliver you. And the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus declares the Lord, I remind you of the affection of your youth, the love of your espousals, how you went after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel is the Lord's hallowed portion, his firstfruits of the increase. All that devour him shall be held guilty. Evil shall come upon them, declares the Lord.